Hello and welcome on our second episode of HiRevs News. On previous episode we were talking about cars released during Geneva Motor Show 2015. That was exactly 1 year ago. At this pace, this will be the fastest growing channel on YouTube, no doubt. But without further ado, let's put focus on cars released during Geneva Motor Show this year. I'm Mr. HiRevs and let's get to it. Let's kick off with the big guns, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, new Bugatti Chiron. A car which took 10 years to develop and which most likely will remain a benchmark for the next 10 years in the most exciting hypercar segment. Design-wise, Chiron stays true to its heritage. It retains some of the design cues from its predecessors. Center spine line going across the whole body, just like in Bugatti Atlantic, is also pronounced in the interior. C-shaped sideline is quite reminiscent and goes back to Bugatti Royale. Even a Torre Bugatti signature can be identified with this shape. Bugatti claims that all this is nice to have, but the real reason behind it is the philosophy: form follows performance. So the real meaning is the significance of the technical performance of this line, which acts like a big ram air intake to provide enough air to the engine while dissipating the heat created during combustion. And believe me, this engine needs a lot of air. Roughly up to 60,000 liters of air can be fed to the engine every minute, thanks to 4 sequential turbochargers, producing staggering 1,600 Nm of torque and 1,500 brake horsepower. With this kind of engine performance, to meet the emission regulations, the car has been fitted with fully titanium exhaust and 6 catalytic converters that are 6 times larger than those found in the middle-sized car. The surface area of the exhaust catalyst is 230,000 square meters, which is about the same size as 30 football fields. Car is equipped with 7-speed dual-clutch transmission with the highest performance clutch fitted into a passenger car ever. Its carbon tap torsional rigidity is on par with LMP1 race car, and that's almost 5 times more than you get in an average daily driver. In fact, Bugatti says that if all the fibers used in the monocoque were laid out end to end, they would stretch to the distance between Earth and the Moon 9 times. Chiron's top speed is limited to 260 miles per hour, and it will set you back 2.4 million euros. That's the equivalent of 6 Aventadors or 200 Skoda Fabias. For that you get a very fast Bentley. I mean, engineering marvel that we can appreciate only once per decade for the first time. Next is of course Lamborghini Centenario, a homage to Ferruccio Lamborghini and his 100th birthday. It is also last Lambo unveiled by Stefan Winkelmann, who parts his ways with Lamborghini after 11 years as CEO and moves on to Audi to take Quattro GmbH in his hands. The Centenario is yet another low-volume special edition Lambo with 770 horsepower V12. Only 20 cubes and 20 roadsters will be made, each sold for a price of around 1.7 million euros. For this you get basically a bit beefed up Aventador SV with unique body kit, more power and less weight. What is interesting, Centenario introduces 4-wheel steering, which for sure will be present on the next Lamborghini's V12 flagship. Other than that, well, this car is made only for a handful of clients, and for normal people like us, the Centenario remains nothing more than a gimmick. We will have to wait until next year for the Urus, which will be groundbreaking for Lamborghini as third car in their lineup, and first Lambo with engine options. Last year Porsche introduced 991 GT3 RS model, a track weapon developed for track day driving enthusiasts. Also with 991 GT3 product range, Porsche has dropped manual gearbox completely, saying that PDK gearbox is better in every possible way. Well, it turned out that by doing this, Porsche has created a niche market for pure driving enthusiasts, for purists that instead of the lap times care only about sheer driving pleasure. 911R is the car for the purist, and it's full-on back to the basics 911. You can opt for no AC or radio. It comes with specially developed 6-speed manual just for this car. It has the same 4-liter flat 6 as in GT3 RS with 500 horsepower, which is more than enough for a road use. recalibrated damper suited better for road use, and rear wheel steering. Actually, Porsche was considering dropping the rear wheel steering in this car as a part of back to the basics and further weight savings. But according to Andreas Proniger, the car with the system feels so much agile that they just couldn't force themselves to drop it. As a final result, this is the most exciting 911 on the market, with 3 pedals weighing less than GT3 RS, retro interior styling, very classy, pure, and dare I say it, I'm in love with it. There is only one catch. All 991 of them are sold out. Like every limited run Porsche, it is offered first to the inner circle Porsche VIP clients, so unless you are a 917 Spider owner, you can forget about it, and if you want a manual gearbox GT product, then prepare €500,000 per change for the used 997 GT3 RS 4-liter, while the inner circle members get the 911R for lousy €200,000. 570 GT is, according to McLaren, more practical version of the 570S, with redesigned rear compartment to fit additional 220 liters of luggage space on top of the 150-liter storage area under the bonnet. Again, a bit softer damper calibration, more sound dampening, and more luxurious interior for more GT-esque characteristics. All in all, to call it a GT car is a bit of a stretch. But then again, this is a 2-seater sports car with mid-engine architecture that has more storage space than a Ford Focus hatch, and that's something. Speaking of iconic GT cars, new Aston Martin DB11 also had its premiere on this year's Geneva. It will replace the outgoing DB9 model after its 12 years lifespan, which is quite long for a car. The DB10 name was skipped as it was taken by the Aston Martin built exclusively for the James Bond franchise. So the new DB11 design takes its inspiration from DB10 and most hardcore track-only Aston Martin Vulcan, presented in Frankfurt last year. Under the bonnet, you will find 5.2-liter twin-turbo V12 developed in-house by Aston Martin. It is coupled with 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox managing 600 horsepower. All in all, British most elegant and classy GT car is back, and based on what we know so far, it should be a rather good one. Chevrolet presented a new track weapon under name of Grand Sport, and what a surprise! It has naturally aspirated LT1 6.2-liter V8 engine with 460 horsepower. Finally, someone with clear thinking. 460 horsepower for track use is more than enough, and for some of us, 650 horsepower offered in top-of-the-range Z06 model is too much to handle. The Grand Sport has magnetic ride fitted as standard. It also has the same cooling systems as in the top-of-the-range Z06, which, unlike in the Z06, should work perfectly fine for the Grand Sport. Also, the car can be fitted with full-on Z07 aerodynamic pack for some serious downforce. The pricing of Grand Sport is not yet revealed, but it should be a bit more than a standard Stingray and way cheaper than a Z06, which in my book sounds like a perfect Corvette I would like to have. 124 Abarth is a nice refreshment for this segment, which is affordable lightweight roadsters. Until now, the queen of this segment was, of course, the Mazda MX-5. The King offers 170 horsepower from its 1.4 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, along with record Monza quad exhaust fitted as standard. To accompany that, it comes also with Bilstein dampers and Brembo brakes. Automatic tranny is an option, but the correct choice is of course 4-speed manual. The whole package weighs only 1060 kilograms and accelerates in 6.8 seconds to first 100, and top speeds at 230 kilometers per hour. I don't know how about you, but for me this sounds like a much more exciting package than what Queen has to offer. And last but not least, Ford has presented a Fiesta model in ST200 version. How can you put 200 horsepower in something so small, little and tiny? Well, Ford is just crazy like that, and I love it. So those were my highlights for this year's Geneva Motor Show. Post and comment below what were your highlights and why. In the meantime, thank you for your time, thanks for watching, Hope you enjoyed it. Drive safe and hold your revs high. Until next time, take care.